Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. We start tonight here in Perry County, where Kentucky State Police are investigating an early morning shooting that left one man dead. Officials say they responded to a home on Gamble Drive in Hazard shortly after midnight on Saturday. When they arrived, they say they found 29-year-old Ryan Whitaker in the driveway with multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Detectives say Whitaker got into an argument with 27-year-old Troy Campbell, who shot and killed Whitaker. Campbell is charged with 1 count of murder. The incident remains under investigation. Floyd County was faced with more flooding Thursday and Friday. More water poured into communities such as Wayland and Garrett, over bridges and streets and into the basements of homes, leaving mud and standing water in some areas. Judge Executive Robbie Williams said the most recent bout of flooding comes with numerous setbacks in the recovery from the more major flooding back in July.
It is a setback, but you know what we find out is we have to put our best foot forward and continue to to go forward and just address these issues. But there again, it just seems like it's been never ending here for the last 3 or 4 years.
Wayland Mayor Jerry Foltz says this was more of a, quote, normal flood compared to the more extreme circumstances last July. We'll have more from Floyd County tonight at 11. Last year's historic flood left many eastern Kentucky roadways and bridges destroyed. Several of these roadways were fixed temporarily, but with recent rain, many of these temporary fixes are washing away. WYMT's Alyssa Williams checked in with one Breathitt County couple to learn more about the worries they have about the roads near them.
For Justin and Kristen Noble of Breathitt County, last year's flood ravaged many parts of the Clayhole community where they live.
And I was like, oh my God, this is bad. This road is we're going to be trapped up here. And sure enough, we was until they airlifted us out and was evacuating everybody.
The Nobles had no way of returning home until the water had subsided. But once they did, the state of the roads surrounding their home was a stark reminder of everything that had happened.
If you look towards the creek bank, you can see it just chipping away. And one day there's just not going to be anything.
The Nobles say government organizations and various volunteers came to do what they could to help make the area safer to drive through. But the more it rains, the more these back roads disintegrate.
I'm kind of scared when the bus comes up here, probably Monday morning. I mean, as bad as it is, it might break right there with all them kids on the bus. That would be bad, especially if they slid in the creek.
The pair says they have contacted state and local officials to see what could be done to fix these roads, but have not seen any action.
That's what makes me upset, is because there's so many other projects that's going around in town. It's like they don't care about the people that live on the back roads, knowing that there's people that has health conditions that need to get out, or people who need to go to travel for work, need to be able to get out.
The Nobles say every time it rains, they can't escape the fear they'll be trapped once again.
We small haulers and stuff, we're the root of this little county. And yeah, in town is good, but you got so many more people up in these haulers, and you got to take care of them, do better fixing the roads.
In Breathitt County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Justin and Kristen Noble add that the roadways become even more hazardous when they freeze. They add that several people have actually slid off of the roads into the creek because of this. They hope that these roads can be fixed soon to prevent other accidents from happening in the future. A Moorhead couple who lost everything in a fire last weekend are trying to raise awareness for fire safety. Chloe Hart and Bradley Groves lost their Circle Drive home in a fire on Valentine's Day. Chloe's at work and Bradley was in Georgetown when they got a call that their house was on fire and that their 2 dogs were killed. They say the fire started in the attic. According to the U.S. Fire Administration, 10,000 house fires start in attics. Hart wants to spread awareness and express how important it is to have fire alarms in your home.
One big thing that I want to push through this story is the importance of having a fire alarm in the attic. It's not something we had, it's not something that I had ever heard before, but many fires do start in attics, and getting that heads up, could be the difference between life and death.
The couple says they're grateful for their community support during this difficult time. If you'd like to donate, we've got a link on our website, WYMT.com. Former President Jimmy Carter, who at 98 years old is the longest lived American president, has entered home hospice care. In a statement, the Carter Center said the former president had decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family. Carter actually visited the mountains in 1997, participating in a Habitat for Humanity project known as Hammering in the Hills.
Well, awesome weather continues across the mountains for the weekend, and that will stick around into your Sunday as well, but some changes are on the way by Monday and next week. Here's a live look right now over at UVA-wise, looking at a nice sunset back in the distance, a clear sky, current temperature 37 degrees. Also looking at a clear sky over at Buffalo Mountain, a little bit warmer at 43 degrees here in Perry County. Most of us in the middle to lower 40s at this hour, 41 for Pikeville, 43 in Jackson, 42 for London, and 46 over in Harlan. So temperatures are comfortable as we go into this evening. The good news, we are dry on radar, and that will continue into tonight as well. If you have any plans, it will be a little bit chilly. You may need the jacket as we go into tonight, but a beautiful night is on tap and a beautiful day is in tap as well on your Sunday. That full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Keaton.
Thank you, Cameron. The Council on International Educational Exchange, known as CIEE, held a foreign food tasting at the Laurel County Public Library. Foreign exchange students from across the world gave Kentuckians a taste of the snacks they eat in their native countries and also compared them to food here in America. German exchange student Linnea Ramiles says sugar is a big difference between her home country and the U.S.
Candy here is really sweet, and candy in Germany is not as sweet, I would say. Also, I think you guys have a lot of fast food here that we don't have in Germany, and I would say that's like the biggest difference.
Ramile and her fellow exchange students at the event all go to schools in the Cumberland Valley area. Boone Harold was diagnosed with hypoplastic left heart syndrome before he was born. For the next year after his birth, the family spent most of their time in hospitals hoping to get Boone help. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us Boone's overcoming story and how he's shown maturity even at a young age.
5-year-old Boone Harold has fought hard battles throughout his life already.
Come here, baby. Boone had a surgery at 5 days old. It was an open heart surgery. He had another one at 5 months old, and then he went into heart failure. So he never made it to the third surgery in the series. He actually had to be placed on the transplant list.
Boone received a heart transplant at 11 months old, and when he had the opportunity to show his family appreciation, a camper came to his mind.
He saw Camping World in the distance, and he said, "Mom, do you know why I picked a camper?" And I said, "Why did you pick it, buddy?" And he said, "For our whole family to use."
The camper would have cost the family around $20,000, but they got a little help. The Make-A-Wish Foundation stepped in.
They had the red carpet rolled out, and when we got here, it wasn't just the camper that they had ready for us, but they also donated a lot of accessories.
Make-A-Wish bought the camper from Camping World in London. The Heralds picked it up, and it has been a hit ever since.
Well, last week when we brought it home, they wanted to just sleep in the driveway in it. They weren't very picky about where the camper was parked at. They just really wanted to sleep in the camper. They didn't really care where it was. So
they stationed it at Thompson Park, but the Harold family plans to take the camper on some beach trips too. In Barberville, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Mandy Harold says Boone's twin sister Brinley has turned into a second mom for Boone through his battle, showing how close their family is. Coming up at 6, FEMA heads to East Palestine, Ohio, as residents worry about potential side effects from the chemical spill.
And an awesome weather pattern continues through the weekend, but more rain chances are on the way by Monday. All those details coming up next.